Hey guys, welcome back to the Rob Pop YouTube channel, your campus tits pop culture fix, and I'm back again for what must be like the 6th return now.
You're joking. Not another one?
Like any sane Eurovision fan, I'm recording this in October because that is when we all get excited. Anything from October 1st really can be sent to Eurovision. So who knows, there may be a Eurovision entry already floating about in the musical sphere. But today I'm starting off with the host country for 2024, that is Sweden. And I'm going to be making a wish list of 12 names that I would like to see appear at Melodifestivalen 2024. This is a new kind of video for me. I've never really done like a wish list before, but I follow Melodifestivalen every single year. I have done since 2009, which would make this like my 15th, 16th Melodifestivalen. I'm in my fangirl era. I'm ready to make Eurovision 2024 the year when I really go in with this YouTube channel. Instead of just making like 7 or 8 videos in like April and May, I really want to be covering every single country, looking at more national finals, really paying attention to the iconic competition that is Eurovision. I will be there in Malmo this year, which I'm so excited for. I'm so ready for Eurovision in Sweden. I just know it's going to be amazing. But how do they follow up Loreen? This is my dream wish list of Melodifestivalen 2024. I included 8 acts who I want to see return, who have already participated in previous years, and then 4 acts who I'd love to see debut in 2024. Let's do this! We're back! Okay, so I'm going to start off with the 8 acts who I'd love to see return for Melodifestivalen this year. And I'm starting off with Samir and Victor. Now, I'm not going to play dumb. I have seen a few rumours floating around. I'm recording this towards the end of October. And I've seen Samir and Victor's name pop up quite a bit, but they already were in my wish list before that happened. I love these two, and I know they're quite polarising. I know to some they're cringy, they're a bit embarrassing. I think they represent a really vital part of Melodifestivalen, which is the fun. Every year, Melodifestivalen is made up of so many radio-friendly songs, which are, to quite a lot of people on like Twitter, they describe Sweden as safe and boring. I don't think that is something that you can describe Samira and Victor as. They always make the final, and they always make the final with something fun, and I think that's really important for Sweden to have in their competition. I think now would be a great time for them to return as well. We saw in 2022 how popular Medina were, and that was that same kind of fun, upbeat party energy. So I feel like Sweden is still here for this kind of entry, and Shuffler proved that the jury could actually get behind Samira and Victor, and they weren't just a joke act to, you know, just fill up those last few spots. I love Badanokna, I love Shuffler, and I'd love to see what they could inject into 2024. Another reason I really want to see them return as well is because I am so rooting for Sweden to take a chance on sending a Swedish language entry this year. It probably will not happen. I can't remember when the last one was. It's probably been like, what, 20 years or so? But they quite literally cannot fail to make it to the final this year. This would be a perfect chance to take a risk. They probably won't. This is Sweden we're talking about. But hey, Samir and Victor, come and bring us some Swedish. Bring back to the mix. Bring the party to Melodifestivalen in 2024. You're on my wish list. The second act that I'd really like to see back is Cassiopeia. Now, she appeared in 2022 with I Just Can't Get Enough, and I loved that song. It didn't feel like a winner, but it really sort of cemented who she was as an artist, got her into the Swedish consciousness. It's not easy to get to the final on your first ever entry, so I think it really just showed that there was some kind of public support behind her. Now, obviously, last year, Cassiopeia was a writer on Loreen's Tattoo, which went on to win. So there is no doubting that she has the songwriting chops in her. She's also the writer behind the only winner of the American Song Contest. Cassiopeia is kind of like, to the fan base of Eurovision, she is already kind of like an icon. But I feel like she needs to cement that with like a killer Melodifestivalen entry which goes down in the books forever. Even if it doesn't win, I just can't get enough with like an 8 or a 9 out of 10. But I know she has a 10 out of 10 in her. So let's bring it this year. Loreen had her time to shine last year with a song that you wrote. Make 2024 the year that Cassiopeia shines. I think she has an amazing pop entry in her. A winner? We'll see. The third artist that I'd like to see back is Oscar Zia. Now, he has appeared twice before, Yes We Can and Human, back in, I want to say 2014 and 2015, so we haven't seen him back for what would be 9 years if he was to appear in 2024, but obviously he's hosted since then, so he's still quite a big name in Sweden. And I listened to a track that he released about 2 weeks ago now called Heartbreak Millionaire. I think that's how it's pronounced. I don't speak Swedish, but I am learning, ready for Malmo. But that track, Heartbreak Millionaire, feels so current. It's got that kind of 80s feel to it, which is so popular right now. But again, it's Swedish language, and I feel like Oscar Zia is clearly someone who the Swedish public really like. He's got a great personality, great vocals, a great image. I feel like if there's someone who could take a Swedish language song to the win and get it to Eurovision, Oscar Zia could be the one, and I think his return is so long overdue. The fourth act that I've put down is, to me, the breakout star of 2023, and that is Kiana. As soon as Kiana popped up on that stage, I feel like collectively, as like Melodifestivalen fans, we were all like, she could win in the future. Where Did You Go was a great track, but she elevated the absolute life out of that. She came in with like 110% energy, a gorgeous smile, performed the life out of it, dance routine, bam, 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 hit every single note. And there's no doubting that that is a star. Isn't she like 16, 17? I see a winner in her, and I feel like she's one of those natural people who would have their start one year and then come back the next. We're talking like Clara Hammerström. We just got the warm-up act. We got the starter from Kiana. Where Did You Go was the starter. 2024 could be the main course. She's going to be young, she's going to be fresh, she's going to be fun, she's going to be poppy. Someone who would be such a great representative for a home nation. I just know she would embrace it for all it's worth. She'd be such a good ambassador for Eurovision, and showing that, you know, Sweden can actually really have fun. Sometimes their entries can feel a bit sterile, people describe them as. We've had Voices, we've had Hold Me Close, we've had Tattoo. 3 great songs, but all sort of a bit mellow, a bit subdued. I think it's time that we got something fun from Sweden. I think it's time that we've got a dance routine, some energy. Kiana can bring that in abundance. She's already proved that. I'm pretty sure she's in like the Little Mermaid in Sweden, so she's clearly got a thriving career. Let's take it to the next level. Let's send this girl to Eurovision. But first, she needs to get through Melodifestivalen, which is arguably harder, but I'm ready to see her. I think we all want to see Kiana and that iconic leg kick back. I only want her back if she gives us that leg kick. Act number 5 that I would like to see back. I'm going to go with a winner. I feel like because Loreen won last year and after winning previously, they're going to want another winner back. My personal choice is Tusa. I was not a massive fan of Voices, but I was a big fan of Tusa. I just thought the song was like, if you typed into Google inspiring song generator, it would churn Voices out. It was so run-of-the-mill inspiring, like someone's idea of what would make someone feel like self-empowered. And it kind of fell flat to me, but what I did take from it was that Tusa performed it so well that I was kind of rooting for him regardless. Tusa's music outside of Eurovision is so much better than Voices. Like, he's got a song called Rain and a song called Crash, both of which are bops. I think Tusa really excels from what I can see with up-tempos, and if you just based him off what you saw from him at Melodifestivalen or at Eurovision, you would not know that Tusa has such an energy, such like a boom, boom, boom about him. But I think give him an up-tempo to come back with. He doesn't need to win. People like Robin Bengtsson have come back since winning Melodifestivalen and not won. I would so rather see him back again than Jon Lundvik again, than Robin Bengtsson again, than honestly most of the males that were sent like in the last 10 years. I think we could really see a different side of him. On my wish list of people who I want to see return, number 6, I've gone for Molly Pettersson Hammer. Now she's another artist who we haven't seen for, I'm gonna say 8 years. I think it was 2016 where we last saw her, where Hunger got to Andrew Johansson but didn't make it any further. She also entered in 2015 with I'll Be Fine, which didn't leave the semi-finals. We've never actually seen her make the final. We did hear her as a backing voice for Jessica Anderson's Party Voice, which was I think like 3 years ago now, so clearly she's still sort of mixing in Melfest circles, but she hasn't chosen to return for herself. However, she did have a #1 in Sweden in 2022. She started to pick up a bit more popularity in her home country, and I think a great way to capitalise on that would be to finally come back to Melfest and get into the final. As I say, she may not win, but I feel like she's one of those who's just been kind of robbed in her Melfest career so far. She feels like a bigger artist than her placings would make her feel, but I mean, daughter, her first entry literally came like 7th in its semi-final. She came back with Bulletproof and changed absolutely everything. Molly Pedersen-Hammer is clearly a very talented writer and singer. She could come back and do the same and really leave her mark on Melfest. So who knows, maybe 3rd time's a charm. I would be rooting for Molly because she's got a fantastic, really deep, raspy and unique voice that I think deserves to be heard on Melfest just one more time. Even if it's just one more time, let 2024 be the year. Speaking of daughter, she is my #7. I mean, really, she's my #1. This is not in order. Samira and Victor aren't like my most wanted. And everyone who I want back, it would absolutely be Daughter. I feel like she's just the artist that people want to see make it to Eurovision. She feels like a natural successor to Loreen, but maybe too similar in that kind of, she gives like a really dark, meaningful performance. She's very sort of rooted in her performance style, very sort of passionate, amazing songwriter. Maybe she'd be too similar to follow Loreen, but that's the only negative I could really think of for not wanting her back. She entered 2 years in a row. We got her with Bulletproof in 2020, Little Tot in 2021. And I think it's good that she's had a break. She's sort of built up that anticipation for her rather than, you know, just keeping on trying and hoping something sticks. She's had 3 years out of it if she was to come back in 2024. And I have seen her rumoured, so who knows? I think she'd be such a big name to return. People would be so hyped for her now because they've had time to sort of reminisce on what could have been. And I just know she can do even better than Bulletproof and Little Tot. She released a song called No Room for Love this year, which is probably my favourite thing she's done. She could do dance, she could do a ballad.
Whatever song you want me to sing, I'll do it. Gwen Stefani, I can sing. Prince, I can sing.
I think you could throw her on in that final slot of semi-final 4 and let her absolutely attack it and have her moment at really going for that crown. Just like I said with Kiana, she'd be such a good representative for the home nation and continue on with their iconic women. Just imagine Cornelia Jacobs, followed by Loreen, followed by Daughter. That's a Sweden that I want to stand, personally. The final act that I want to see return on my wish list, I've gone for Dani Salcedo. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Poor Dani has entered Melodifestivalen 4 times now, once with EMD, 3 times on his own, on 2 of those occasions coming 2nd, one of which to Loreen. So to me, there's something about poetic justice that says, would it not be just so amazing to see him finally take that crown, go to Eurovision, and have Loreen hand the mantle over to him and let him do it. Admittedly, when he came back last time, Dandy Dancer was good. It wasn't a winner. I think he knew that. I'm pretty sure he even admitted that, you know, he wasn't in it to win. He just wanted to get out there and perform, which is how quite a lot of people felt after lockdown. So 2021 was sort of like a logical time to do it. But I know that Danny has a winning spirit in him and a winning entry in him. He's still a big name in Sweden. And I mean, look, it took Måns Zelmerlöw 3 times. It took Sanna Nielsen 7 times. There is no limit to the amount of time that you can enter Melodifestivalen before you get that win. And I think there's still a lot of love for Danny. I don't know so much whether it's within the fan base, because I know a lot of people thought he was a sore loser after he didn't win with Amazing. There is a bit of a cocky attitude to him, but I just kind of think he's a star. I'm here for Danny for 2024. I have no idea if he's rumoured or if he even would want to return to Melodifestivalen again. He may have been burned too many times, but this is a wish list. This is a dream and a boy can dream. So they're the 8 acts that I want to see return, but Melodifestivalen would be nothing if it wasn't for new artists debuting who we've not seen before, or people who we've been wanting for years, who have passed up the opportunity time after time. Could it finally be time to get them? So the first artist I really want to see debut at Melodifestivalen this year is September, aka Petra Marklund. Yes, as I say, she's the reason that I thought to make this video, because I saw her name rumoured like once or twice, but I'm fairly sure I've seen it rumoured for the last couple of years, so it might not mean anything. But I think now would be such a good time for September. Queen of Cry For You, Can't Get Over, Satellites, such a massive dance artist that was a Swedish export back in like the noughties. I think people would still definitely recognise Cry For You, and I think if she was to enter Melodifestivalen and get through to Eurovision, there'd be that same kind of commentator buzz that there was when Cascada entered with Glorious. Sure, Glorious didn't do amazing, but I'm not thinking that, you know, September's rocking up to 2024 with a tattoo rip-off. Petra Marklund herself, who is September, has had success outside of the September moniker and with stuff that isn't just dance related, so we might not even get a dance entry. I also kind of feel like I hear Cry For You now at the clubs more than ever. I think it's probably because of Charlie XCX's Beg For You, which sampled Cry For You. I don't know, I just feel like there's a desire for September right now, and it's kind of like the right time. She's waited long enough. Give us what we want. We want September at Melodifestivalen, let's make it happen. Second act on my wish list would be Smith and Fell. Now they will have been on my wish list for like, I don't know, the last 5 years. I've been kind of obsessed with them. They are a Swedish duo who are also songwriters. I think they wrote Human for Oscar Zia back in 2015. It's all coming back around. So they, as I say, are not shy of the Melodifestivalen circles. So it's not completely out of the realms of possibility, but they're not someone who I've ever actually seen rumoured. But I just think their sound would go down so well. Denmark in 2020 actually tried to send Ben and Tan, who just felt like a side B of Smith and Fell in the first place. But the actual Smith and Fell, they are absolutely major, and they just know how to create that kind of stadium-ready anthem that would just go down so well at Eurovision. Their song Goliath, which they released in 2020, if they'd entered that to Eurovision, I genuinely think that could have been a Eurovision winner. They've got just that ability to write hook after hook, that chorus that stays in your head for so long, and I feel like they represent that Swedish pop sensibility so well that if they entered, they just have that kind of song that would go down well with like your family, it would go down well at parties. They've got that flexibility that kind of dabbles a little bit in country as well, which is something that is quite unique to Sweden. I don't think we'll ever get them at Eurovision, but this is a wish list, as I say, so who knows, if they came, it would be a dream come true. My third debut entrant wishlist member is Jubel. Jubel are another duo. They are a dance pop duo who I think could really bring some energy to Melfest. I think they started to play with a few more dance entries. I know they had Ark North with Jon Henrik Fjällgren. The Marcus and Martinus Air track was really quite dance heavy. So I think Sweden are really trying to represent their dance roots at Melodifestivalen, and Jubel would be a great way to do that. You may be familiar with their cover of Dancing in the Moonlight, which was big maybe like 5 years ago, but they are quite a prominent act outside of that. They've not had a lot of Swedish chart success, however, so maybe this could be the way to do it. They also have a track called Lucky with Noah Carell of 2023 Unicorn fame, so they're clearly mixing with some of the Eurovision stars, so maybe they may want a taste of it themselves. I know that dance doesn't always do great at Eurovision, so I think that that could put some DJs off, but I feel like Jubel are practically pop anyway. They just kind of mix that dance and pop quite effortlessly, and I think they could definitely make something which is like that party anthem that really just goes off at Eurovision or goes off at Melodifestivalen. But I think if they were to do it with like another artist featured, maybe someone like Hannah Firm, I see no reason why they couldn't smash. I would love to see dance represent Sweden at some point. We're ready for an upbeat party anthem from them, is what I'm getting from pretty much this whole video. The final act on my debut Melodifestivalen entrant wishlist is Bianca Ingrosso. This is kind of for the storyline. She doesn't have a lot of music for me to go off, but she did have a massive hit in Sweden this year with a cover of Jamelia's Superstar, and I just think it would be great to just continue this lineage of the family Ingrosso going at Melodifestivalen. Obviously her mother Pernilla Wahlgren had a massive Piccadilly Circus track back in like the 80s. Her brother, Benjamin Ingrosso, is a winner with Dance You Off. So I just kind of feel like the headlines are screaming for her to just continue the Ingrossos trying themselves out at Melodifestivalen. She's a huge name in Sweden. She's like the Kim Kardashian of Sweden. So if they were able to get her, it would be a huge coup. But I don't see what she's got to lose by trying it. I mean, it's just another string to her bow, possibly another hit in Sweden, because God knows, a lot of the songs that don't actually get sent still end up being a hit. Can she win like her brother? Will she flop? Who knows, but it would be damn interesting to find out. So I'd be really interested if Bianca's name popped up, but I feel like maybe we would know by now because she's such a big name that people would be really demanding her. But she's on the wish list. And that's my 12 names. What do you think of my list? It really took a lot of blood, sweat and tears to get into that, but I'm sure by the time the names are revealed, I'm going to be like, okay, I wanted them too. Oh, I wanted them too. I have seen Smash Into Pieces and Liamu rumoured. Definitely interested to see what Smash Into Pieces would do the second time around, because they really made a huge mark in that kind of rock arena this year. But let me know what you think. Who do you want to see at Melodifestivalen in 2023? Do you agree with me? Do you have any different picks? Do you have any suggestions of new artists that maybe I've just not even heard who you would love to enter? Subscribe to this channel for more Eurovision content. I want to really go in for 2024, cover every country, as many national finals as possible. And so if you want to be along for that journey with me, you better subscribe. Hit like if you enjoyed this video, and hit the bell if you want notifications every time I upload a video onto this channel, because now I'm back on the rodeo, in the words of Blanca, I'm not stopping. So let's get Eurovision 2024 back on the road, and you better come and join me. Thank you for watching the video, and good night.